So Jonathan Kuminga has officially requested a trade, demanded a trade away from the Warriors. And I think what really put a stamp on this whole situation was the fact that the day he became trade eligible, which was 2 days ago, he literally said, it's like at the minute he became trade eligible, he was like, fuck y'all niggas, get me out of here. Now, as we all know, him and Steve Kerr has not really been on the same page as far as, Steve Kerr sort of kind of, benching him. And I'll be honest with you guys. I said this, listen, guys. I want you guys to go to my, if you're watching from B-Ball Unlocked TV, if you're watching this live stream from B-Ball Unlocked TV, like the video. But if you go to my channel, right? I'm tripping. What the fuck? If you go to my channel, right, and you go through the catalog and you look, and you look for the Warriors when the Warriors traded for Jimmy Butler, I was the first one to say that I didn't like the trade. Well, again, I didn't like the trade because I didn't think Jimmy Butler fit the Warriors system. The Warriors system is motion offense, 3-point shooters, 3-and-D guys. Jimmy isn't 3-and-D. Jimmy's a mid-range slasher who gives you buckets in the half court, plays great defense, really high IQ, but doesn't really, I don't think he spreads the floor enough for Curry. I mean, they guard him they face guard him enough as it is. And I honestly feel like Jimmy being on the Warriors makes it a bit harder for Curry. But again, he's still a good player, right? He does demand some attention, but like I said, I just don't think it was a great fit. So that's basically what my mindset was on that point. Let me see if I can. Right? Now, to continue, right? I said that because Jimmy Butler was on the Warriors, right? It sort of kind of hindered. That was the beginning of the end for Jonathan Kuminga. Now, at the beginning of this season, Steve Kerr said that Jonathan Kuminga was going to be the starter for the Warriors. And I think they played like 10 plus games. I think it was 10 to 16 games. They started losing. And he eventually benched Kuminga. In essence, he sort of kind of scapegoated Kuminga. And my biggest problem with Steve Kerr is the fact that he isn't able, listen, his thing was, he came out saying that, it's a very difficult situation, but he can't play Kuminga and Jimmy in the same lineup. But my thing is this. If you're one of the greatest coaches of all time, right? Doesn't Steve Kerr have like 11 rings? Isn't it up to the coach to figure out, and this is my opinion, it should be up to the coach to figure out how to incorporate a 23-year-old athletic wing who can contribute to your squad. But for whatever reason, Steve Kerr doesn't do it. And think about it. It'd be one thing if the Warriors were like rolling, right? If they were like second in the West. Man, the Warriors are Warriors 8 in the fucking Western Conference, bro. They ain't doing shit. I ain't gonna lie, they had a good they had a good win the other day, but it was against the Hornets. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, come on, bro. So finally, Kuminga was like, I'm done. I'm just tired of it. Now, there were reports that came out saying that Kuminga faked an injury because reports came out he was injured. And the funny thing is, Steve Kerr came out saying that he was expecting him to play, and eventually he was injured. It came out that he was injured. Now, word on the street was Kuminga was faking his injury to protect his, I guess you can say, trade value. And, with the whole benching situation, him and his representation didn't like that. So they said, man, fuck you. We went out. Now, here is Steve Kerr's reaction. Do I have it here? Where is it? Steve Kerr. Did I repost this? Where is it? So Steve Kerr came out and he answered questions and gave his thoughts on Kuminga demanding a trade. Let me find that clip for you guys. Here we go.
Yeah. Steve, what's your reaction to the reports that Jonathan has demanded a trade and also just the specific reporting that your and his relationship is a big part of why he wants out?
Our relationship is fine. There's not.
I don't believe that. Let me tell you why I don't believe that. Obviously, Kuminga is going to be a professional and, be cordial with Steve Kerr. But you can't sit here and tell me that him and Jonathan Kuminga are cool. Like, come on, bro. the ass cat. But Steve Kerr gotta, he gotta do it for the cameras and shit. You know how it is.
Not a whole lot I can say about the other stuff. It's, just is what it is. Difficult situation for everybody. And, part of this league, part of the job. So we just keep moving forward. But it's a tough situation, and I don't really have, much to add.
I know he was at shoot around this morning. What was kind of your message to him, and what were some of your conversations like?
None of your business. Yeah. No, we talked this morning, and
None of your business.
I know he was at shoot around this morning. What was kind of your message to him, and what were some of your conversations like?
none of your business. Yeah. No, we talked this morning, and that's all private. Yeah.
I mean, what can y'all really talk about? Like, he don't want to play for y'all no more. Okay. If you're Kuminga, right, and Steve Kerr, what you gonna tell him? Yeah, I want out. You bench me for literally, guys. Jonathan Kuminga, after starting the first 10 to 15 games, and Steve Kerr scapegoated him. This nigga had 16 DNPs. Look it up. 16 DNPs. Shit, if I'm him, I want out too. Fuck it.
What over the next few weeks, leading up to the deadline, what do you hope to see out of him?
I will keep coaching him, and he's he'll be part of the team, and he'll be here, and it is what it is. So
I could tell Steve Kerr's like, wow, why I gotta answer these questions? Look at his face, bro. He's like, fuck.
Steve, obviously a lot more of this stuff is out in the open now. How do you allow everything not to become a distraction over the next couple of weeks?
it won't be a distraction. Jonathan's a great young guy. His teammates like him. He's handling himself well. There won't be a distraction.
Hey, Steve, back to Kuminga. He's obviously still a young guy. I'm just curious, do you feel like he can still, what's his potential in this league? Do you still feel like he can be an impact player in this league?
It's tough being a young player in the league, and finding opportunity. One thing I tell all our young guys is the vast majority of players in this league end up playing for multiple teams, and a big part of this league is finding the right situation and making that connection. I played for 6 teams, and 3 or 4 of them I rarely got off the bench, and then a couple of them I was a key role player, and not to compare me to him, but I'm just
because you're not the same player. But I see his point. It's a very competitive league. It is.
giving you an example. And we've had a lot of guys come through here, great players who, could tell you it's.
Make sure y'all drop a like on the live stream. I appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys.
It's an interesting journey, and everyone has their own journey. And so for all our young guys, not just JK, I talk about that a lot, that you always want to just put yourself in the best position to be ready for the opportunity when it comes. And sometimes it's going to come, sometimes it's not, and you just have to be prepared for all of that.
And with everything going on with Jonathan Kuminga at the moment, obviously he's requested a trade now, but The Athletic released an article saying that people around the NBA and in the Warriors organization believe Jonathan Kuminga is faking an injury. We saw this clip where...
There we go. I already said that. Faking the
Steve
injury.
Kerr was talking about how Jonathan Kuminga suffered a back injury in his pre-game warm-up. That's what people are talking about, believing he faked an injury there. And an anonymous Warriors player actually said to The Athletic, I wouldn't have played either. It's clear the coach doesn't believe in him. Let me know in the comment section who you think this anonymous Warriors player.
Yeah, like I said, it's clear as day that he's, because if okay, let's say he did play that game, right? Steve Kerr is probably gonna play him 10 minutes. He's like, fuck it. All right, so here's Jimmy Butler and Steve Kerr and Steph Curry speaking on the Kuminga demanding a trade thing.
Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga have a close relationship, and here's what Jimmy and
That has nothing to do with us. We love JK in this locker room. That's not going to change. If it happens to not being here, we still rock with JK. I speak for everybody. I don't care. I speak for everybody.
I'm gonna keep it a bean, and I'm not blaming Jimmy Butler for this. I mean, he's a star player, and no team that trades for a guy of his caliber, paying him like I think 50 million, is not going to start him. They're obviously going to start him. They're clearly going to start him. But like I said, he is the reason. I literally when they traded for Jimmy, it was over. The Beast says, hold on, let me see what the Beast said. What's good with you, brother? Let me tell you what the Beast said. The Beast commented on Twitch. Let's see what he said. What the fuck? The chat goes by fast. Why does it update like that so quick? But literally, but the point is this. The minute Jimmy got traded to the Warriors, it was over for Kuminga. I don't remember, again, the year, this is, I think, last year, I think, yeah. I forgot who the Warriors lost to. I don't remember the series they lost to. But in I think Steph Curry went down in that series. I don't remember the team they went up against. But in the last 4 games, Kuminga averaged 25 a game, I believe. It was 24 to 25 a game. He showcased that he can be a potential star in this league. However, he feels that Steve Kerr is hindering his opportunity and is basically, there are reports, and I think it's pretty much confirmed at this point, that he felt that the Warriors were holding him hostage. So, let me continue this though.
Love the guy. I wish him the best here. I wish him the best wherever. Doesn't change. We don't listen to the noise. I hope he don't listen to the noise. He keep coming here with a smile, doing what he's supposed to do, and being the ultimate pro.
He seems to have a desire to get his career potentially off the ground elsewhere. I mean, you're obviously friends with him. Do you think that is needed at this point?
Hey. It don't got nothing to do with me. I want JK to be happy. At the end of the day, that's what I want. Whatever brings him his joy and his happiness, that's what I want for my brother, not my friend. That's my brother, like my brother.
Kuminga became trade eligible today. How much, as a guy who obviously is, leader in the locker room, how much do you feel like this story, the looming story, is or isn't a distraction? And how much do you feel like just a resolution is needed in this situation prior to the deadline?
It's not a distraction at all. It's a very unique situation, but our job is to just keep playing, keep winning. It'll resolve itself one way or the other.
Steph, to follow up on that, why don't you think it'll be a distraction given how much noise there is about it?
You've been around for the last 3-4 years. We've done it this whole time, so very, very well trained in this area to just play basketball.
Did you talk to him at all the last couple of days?
Not specifically about that, no.
Yeah, man. Yep.